A slow cooker is great when you want to make meals that are full of flavour but take very little effort. So in today's video I'm going to show you 3 really amazing slow cooker recipes that are full of flavour and full of nutrients. Hi, my name is Sorcha. I'm a nutritionist and healthy lifestyle blogger from Ireland, and on this channel I help make healthy living simple because it doesn't have to be complicated. So let's get cooking. Today we're going to make ratatouille. Ratatouille is basically a vegetable stew. It was originated in France and Nice. And it's a great way to get vegetables because, as you can see, I've got loads of vegetables in front of me. For this I'm using my slow cooker, but we will need to partially cook it in a pan first. For this recipe you're going to need 6 large tomatoes roughly chopped. I've got some peppers. I got 3 peppers, so a red, a yellow and green, but you can use whatever colour peppers you want. I've got 2 courgettes roughly chopped. I've got 3 courgettes and 2 aubergines. I've never cooked with aubergines before, so I'm excited to see what they taste like. Then I've got 1 red onion, roughly chopped. I've got 1 can of tinned tomatoes. I've got some red wine vinegar. You're only going to need a tablespoon of it, so don't worry, you don't need a whole bottle. You're going to need brown sugar, about a tablespoon. Tomato puree, also a tablespoon. You're going to need 2 cloves of garlic, and I've got some basil and thyme. You can use dried basil and thyme as well. I've got fresh because I have fresh here in the house, but if you use the dried version, make sure you use less because it's concentrated, so it's stronger. This recipe is great because, obviously it's full of vegetables, so it's full of vitamins and minerals and fibre. It's also full of vitamin C because all of the colours, and it has garlic. So it's great in the winter time, when those flus are going around, get that immune system really strong. So first we're going to partially cook the vegetables. Now I'm going to cook the onions. So I've got my pan nice and hot, and I'm going to cook the onions for about 8 minutes or until they're translucent. So I've added about a tablespoon of olive oil. You can use any kind of cooking oil, but let's keep it Mediterranean with the olive oil. Now that your onions are nice and translucent, you're going to add the garlic. So you're going to cook the garlic for about 1 minute. Just add that in. And when I'm cooking, I like to have everything lined up in order of the recipe. Then I don't get confused and put something in before it should be. And I don't know if you've ever heard of the movie Ratatouille. It's like cartoon Pixar. It's about a rat, and it learns to cook, or it's a really good cook. And that's the first time I ever heard of Ratatouille. But I just thought that's what the movie was called. I didn't realise it was an actual dish. So I was really excited when I actually found out it was, you could make it. And hopefully now it does turn out as good as it looked in the movie. I know it was a cartoon, but if it turns out as good as it looked in the movie, then I'll be happy. So the garlic has been cooked for about 1 minute. Now you're going to add in aubergine, and you're going to cook it for about 5 minutes until it's relatively soft. I think in America it's called eggplant. So, like I said, I have never cooked one of these before, so I'm not sure what it's supposed to. Well, it's kind of supposed to go a bit golden. That's when you'll know it's ready. Now you're going to add your courgettes, and you're going to cook them for about 5 minutes too. I have a feeling I did not use a big enough pan, so I might have to transfer these into another pan. But you're going to need a big pan for this, so there goes one. Now it's time to add everything else. So you're just going to put in your peppers, your tomatoes, your fresh tomatoes. Good job, I changed pot because there's no way there would have been enough room. You're going to add your canned tomatoes, your herbs, your tablespoon of brown sugar, your tablespoon of tomato puree, and your tablespoon of red wine vinegar. Now you're going to just mix that up and you're going to let it come to a boil. And once it's come to the boil, you are going to transfer it into your slow cooker. And you'll cook it there for about 5 to 6 hours until all the vegetables are nice and soft. So now you've got it ready to go into your slow cooker. It's really nice and colourful. You've got like loads of colours. You're going to put it in the slow cooker for about 5 to 6 hours until the vegetables are nice and soft. You can keep this in the fridge for up to 5 days. You can also freeze it. You can, when you reheat it, just add a little bit more red wine vinegar and a bit of brown sugar, just kind of revamp it. You can use it on sandwiches as well. You could eat it with rice. Traditionally, it's ate with sourdough bread. So if you want to do that, it's a great way to get vegetables, and I'm really excited because it smells really good so far and it's not even ready yet. So now we're just going to add it into the slow cooker and that's it. Hello, and today we're going to make chicken soup, and I'm going to use my slow cooker. For this chicken soup, you don't have to use a slow cooker, you can just boil it, but I'm going to use slow cooker. First of all, we're going to go through what I need. This is a really basic chicken soup. You can add more to it, you can change it up a bit. I'm not going to add in a lot of herbs and spices into it. That's something you can do yourself. What I'm using is 2 medium carrots. I've got 2 onions chopped up. I have got some potatoes. I've just got them in water because that stops them from browning until I need them. I've got a tablespoon of fresh thyme. Now, if you're using dried thyme, you only need a teaspoon. And I've got leftover chicken from yesterday's dinner. Now, it doesn't look very appetizing, but what I'm going to use that for is to make my own stock. If you don't want to make your own stock or you don't have leftover chicken, all you need to do is make normal stock with a stock cube and cook some chicken. That's all you need to do. So I'm also going to use some frozen peas, but I don't need them till the very end. Also, they're optional. First thing I need to do is I need to fry my onions and thyme together for about 15 minutes. So let's get started. Now I'm going to fry my onions and my thyme for 15 minutes. I know it sounds a long time. You're going to do it on a relatively low heat. And this is just to soften the kind of caramelize the onions. So 5 minutes into that 15 minutes, you are going to add your potatoes and your carrots, and for the remainder of the 10 minutes then you're going to just fry them. Now that that's all cooked, you're going to put it into your slow cooker, and if you are using the chicken carcass to make your own stock, this is what you do. You're just going to put it in. You don't need to take the chicken off it. We're going to do that later. Just like plop it in. And then you're going to put a litre of water to don't spill. I've never made my own stock before, so. And then you're going to let that cook on a high heat for 2 to 3 hours. Now, you don't have to make your own stock. You can use stock cubes. It's perfectly normal as well. If you're only using stock cubes, you do exactly the same thing. You need a litre of water, the stock cube. You need 2 stock cubes for 1 litre, and you'll let that simmer for 2 to 3 hours. Now that the 2 to 3 hours are up, you can take the carcass out of the chicken if you are doing that way, and just shred the chicken off the carcass. So you're going to have chicken like that. Alternatively, if you just use chicken stock, now is the time to go and get your cooked chicken and your frozen peas. So all you're going to do is you're going to add in the chicken and the peas. Mix it up, and you're going to let that simmer on a medium heat for another 30 minutes. And then all you're going to do then is take out half of the mixture, blend it, put it back in, and that will give you a nice creamy soup. Today we're going to make probably one of the easiest recipes I've ever made. We're going to make prawn risotto in the slow cooker. So what you'll need for this is you'll need 1.5 cups of risotto rice. So it's called arborio rice. And you're going to need 1.5 cups of that. You're going to need double that amount of chicken stock. So this is 3 cups of chicken stock, or 750 mils of chicken stock. And then you're going to need 1/2 cup of tomato paste or tomato puree. You're going to need 2 cloves of garlic and crushed. Now you can add more if you want. You don't have to add these, but I thought I would to give them a bit of colour. This is spring onions, so 2 spring onions just chopped, roughly chopped. You're going to need seasoning. I'm using smoked paprika. You can use whatever you want. And of course you're going to need the prawns. Get raw prawns, and you're going to need about 2 cups of them. And then finally you're going to need 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese, and that's for the very end. First thing you're going to do is put everything except the prawns and the Parmesan cheese into the slow cooker. You need about a tablespoon of whatever seasoning you have chosen. And like if you want to make it spicy, you could maybe add something like chili. You're just going to mix it all up. Make sure you stir it well. And then you're going to put on the lid, and you're going to cook it for about 1 to 1.5 hours on a high heat until all the moisture has been soaked up by the rice. I know it probably looks like that will never happen right now, but the risotto rice soaks up all the liquid and it makes it nice and creamy. So just keep an eye on it. After about an hour, keep checking in on it, and it might be ready in the hour and it might not. Now that most of the liquid in your risotto has been soaked up, you're going to add your prawns. It took mine 2 hours because somebody decided to open the lid. One tip, if you're cooking anything in a slow cooker, if you open the lid before it's supposed to be open, you're going to add 20 minutes on to the cooking time. So do not open the lid. Anyway, it's ready now. Well, it's not ready, but it's getting there. So most of the liquid has been soaked up, so I'm just going to give it a little bit of a stirring. And now I am going to, if I can show you, it's just like, and now I'm going to add my prawns. Now, in general, prawns don't take that long to cook. If you were adding something like chicken to this, you would probably like cook it beforehand, because obviously chicken takes longer. You're going to mix your prawns in, and you're going to cook now for another 30 minutes. Do not take the lid off until the prawns are cooked, and you'll know they're cooked when they're kind of a pinky colour. You can maybe take one out and try it. But the parmesan goes on last, like before you're going to eat it. So if you're going to keep this in the slow cooker and people are just going to come and take it out themselves, they can add their parmesan themselves. You don't want it to like go all melted. You don't want that. So I'm going to put the lid back on for half an hour, and then that's it. All of these recipes can be frozen and reheated. They can be stored in the fridge for a number of days as well. You can also use the ratatouille as a relish if you just add in a little bit of more red wine vinegar and brown sugar when you reheat it to like revamp it a bit. You could add it as a relish to like a sandwich or something like that. So they are really easy to make. They do take longer, but it's not like you're going to be cooking for longer. You just put everything in the slow cooker and it does all the hard work. You can also find the links to all these recipes on my website. The links are down below in the description if you want to go and check them out there. I also have the nutritional information on those recipes. So also on my website you can check out my shop, which has all my nutritional services, and I'm offering a free 45-minute nutrition consultation. This is an introductory consultation, so you'll tell me exactly what your goals are, your health goals are, and we'll try to figure out a plan. And you can find these on my website, also link in description, and you can also find them on my Facebook page, so you can just book it and I'll send you a Zoom link. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and if you haven't already, hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when I upload any new videos. Bye!